Hey guys. So today I'm excited to give you this video because this is honestly a video that you guys have been requesting like mad. But I haven't really known how to actually present this stuff to you guys. Because I know you guys are probably not going to like this answer. And so this video is on risk management. Okay, so let's dive in. Risk management. First, as every video with me, we're going to define risk first. Okay, we're going to define what this word means because we're always going to continue to think in first principles. So, in order to understand what risk means, we need to go to the people who defined it best, right? So, Peter Bernstein, Against the Gods, The Remarkable Story of Risk. This is actually the only book that's been shared in the Palaview community Telegram channel, or any book that's been shared in the Palaview community, period. Okay. And so I'm highlighting it again here because this is one of the best books I've ever read on financial topics. And it provides you it really allows you to step into a certain degree of confidence after reading the book. But that doesn't matter. And then this one on the right, Huxley's Island. This is actually just not really super relevant to this video, but if you're interested in understanding where the name Palaview came from, you can read that book. Now, based off of Bernstein's book, we can arrive at a definition that kind of looks like this. Risk is calculated by measuring average human probabilities against degrees of certainty. So again, risk is calculated by measuring average human probabilities against degrees of certainty. So we have to unpack this a little bit. The idea of risk is built on top of the idea of certainty. Okay. And this idea of certainty, that something can be certain, is a concept. And it's actually not a concept that's shared in a lot of civilizations and cultures in the past or even in the present, weirdly enough. So the ancient Greeks did not believe in certainty. Okay. Ancient Egyptians did not. I don't think modern day India or modern day China really believes in this idea of certainty. Okay. So risk as a concept can't exist without this premise or belief in certainty. And in order to measure those degrees of certainty, you have to measure it against average human outcomes, average human probabilities. Therefore, risk management is the regression to the mean. So if you're looking to manage risk, you may as well just ask, hey, how do I get an average outcome? That is technically what it means. So again, risk management is regression to the mean. Now, don't take my word for it, right? Let's go to Warren Buffett, master money turtle man. So he's famous for both of these quotes. Okay, both of these quotes are unique. Well, maybe not the one on the left, but he's quoted for saying both of these things in many books all the time. Okay, so but obviously these quotes are for two different audiences, right? So if he's talking to the average individual, the average person who isn't necessarily into finance and all these things, he's going to say, don't put all your eggs in one basket, diversify, put a little bit in S&P 500, put some gold, like maybe you get half a percentage in Bitcoin, and buy some oil stocks, like bullshit, just diversification. And you can, and I would highly encourage you to go listen to Charlie Munger talk about diversification, right? And this is what modern day risk management is. This is embedded in diversification. Okay, but moving on. And then this idea on the right: put all your eggs in one basket and watch that basket. That is a message of focus. It's a message to high performers that, hey, just focus on one thing, and you will get a good outcome. And that is essentially my message to you. The layman, the average person, focuses their mind on worst case scenarios and they seek social confirmation. Okay. So they will read it, say a Palaview report, one of our reports that we put out every week. And he'll say something like, oh my gosh, this looks risky. And then he'll call his mentor or his financial advisor and be like, what do you think about this? Like, what are my probabilities of return? Blah, 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 blah. And, he'll seek social confirmation because he can't independently make those choices himself, right? Because it's all a relative game to him. It's a social game, actually. He's playing a social game of money, not a this like on the right here, right? The Jedi he focuses on building skills as a form of creative expression, right? So what you'll see as a pattern here, and this brings me to this point, which is actually the quote I wrote for this video, is the more utility you give the marketplace, the less risk the marketplace gives you. This is the primary message that I want to leave you guys with. If you guys have sufficient skills, if your skill set is so abundant that you are truly above average, you're truly exceptional, the marketplace will always be a wind at your back. But if you're average or above average, you'll always feel like the markets are blowing wind right in your face, right? So fuck these concepts. These are human socialization concepts, right? Risk, managing risk only works if you are playing a finite game versus an infinite game. And if you don't know the difference, I'll give you a quick description right now. A finite game is like blackjack, right? There are certainties. It's certain that queen, um, there's a queen of clubs in the fucking deck, right? There are certainties, right? And there are only so many things that can happen, blah, blah, blah. This is a finite game. And that is why you can manage risk in a finite game because you can count cards. You know, you can literally do things like if you get drawn a 15, you should probably hit again, right? And if you draw a 20, you probably shouldn't hit again, right? There are choices that are informed by probabilities with a high degree of certainty, right? Versus a infinite game, which is what we're playing here in the game of entrepreneurship and business and investing, speculation, then you don't have the same degrees of certainty, right? You don't have the same kinds of outcomes, right? You are playing an infinite game. There is no end to your business. There is no end to your investments. There's no end to any of these things until there is one. And that's when you know? So you have to understand the difference between infinite games and finite games if you're going to really manage risk correctly or at all, because there's really no managing risk, period. There's only skill acquisition and the confidence you have in expressing yourself creatively with those skills. Now, I apologize if that's not the answer you guys were looking for, but hey, that's the answer you got. Have a great fucking day.